Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Buenos Aires here for the Argentine Grand Prix. It's Formula One Gran Premio Coca-Cola de Argentina 2021, round 2 of the World Championship. And I have to say, it brings us to South America after an amazing race last time out. But we are here now in South America, as I said before. Argentina covers most of the southern landmass of South America and is the world's 8th largest country. And Michael Schumacher, of course, if you remember, won the last Argentine Grand Prix all the way back in 1998, beating Mika Häkkinen with his teammate Eddie Irvine, forming up a double podium for Ferrari all the way back then. This is the circuit, of course, 3 sectors as standard, and this is a 4.259 kilometer circuit, 2.646 miles. And like I said, last held in 1998. Just look at that elevation at 8 meters. Only separates turn 17 and 1. Here is an incident at turn 1 back in 95 where Jordan Lacey in the Ferrari would go for a spin. Mika Salo having to take evasive action, but Luca Badoer in the Minardi went into the back of him. Lacey struck again in 97 after spinning at turn 11 and 12 and causing Damon Hill's arrows to career off the track. And here at turn 17 and 18, Eddie Irvine for Ferrari in 98 would collide there with Heinz-Harald Frentzen in the Williams. Frentzen getting the upper hand, but they came together. What a phenomenal bit of racing and overtaking action that was indeed. Here are the 3 tyre compounds we are running with the C5, C4 and C3. C5 being the soft, fastest tyre, and of course mediums on C4 class, balanced with the hard white tyres, longer lasting of course, and we'll take you further into this race. And we're now going to take a look at the starting grid for the Argentine Grand Prix. Sergio Perez lands on top spot for the first time for Red Bull. Sensational stuff with Valtteri Bottas alongside Max Verstappen behind his teammate in P3 with Charles Leclerc in P4 for Ferrari. Pierre Gasly, a great performance, just beating Lewis Hamilton in 5th place, 6th place for Lewis. Lando Norris in P7 for McLaren. Carlos Sainz in P8 for Ferrari. Fernando Alonso in P9 for Alpine. Sebastian Vettel in P10. P11, Yuki Tsunoda for AlphaTauri. Daniel Ricciardo in behind him in P12, or alongside him should I say. Lance Stroll in P13 with Kimi Raikkonen in P14 for Alfa Romeo. P15, George Russell alongside Esteban Ocon for Alpine. In P17 we have Antonio Giovinazzi with Nicholas Latifi, the Canadian, joining him on that row of the grid. And at the back, once again, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin representing Haas, Ps 19 and 20th place. Here we are, the Argentine Grand Prix. All 5 lights are lit. And it's pedal to the metal. Go, 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 go. Immediately, Sergio Perez darts along to the inside there, protecting from Valtteri Bottas. Max Verstappen, the Dutchman, after winning last week, goes down the inside there on Valtteri Bottas and takes P2 from the get-go. In behind Pierre Gasly, skipping over the curb there, trying to defend. Indeed, from Charles Leclerc, who's going down the inside there of the French driver. And indeed does supremely well to keep the car going there. The AlphaTauri there of Pierre Gasly sacrificing his spot. Valtteri Bottas in jeopardy, losing a lot of traction with this very narrow circuit here in Argentina. Sebastian Vettel round the outside of Fernando Alonso, taking the longer way around. This circuit indeed goes off the track as well onto the grass, and that will cost him a little bit of time. There's a little bit of contact at the back as well. Lando Norris just scoping all over the rear end of fellow Brit Lewis Hamilton as well. They're all in tandem at the moment. No separation here in lap 1. Hamilton makes a mistake, and that allows Lando Norris through on the inside, and Hamilton to the team radio already lacking on grip. We've already seen so much action at the start of this race. Once again, a little mistake towards the rear end is allowed Kimi Raikkonen through on Daniel Ricciardo. Amazing stuff we've spoken about already. The narrowness of this circuit here in Argentina, and Kimi Raikkonen with all his experience, even though he himself is trying to take an aggressive line through this part of the track, certainly getting very tenacious here in the early stages of this Argentine Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel going hammer and tong there with Kimi Raikkonen. There you can see Lewis Hamilton as well going through on Lando Norris and gets his revenge on that McLaren car, moves his way back up into P6. An amazing moment in this race, and once again riding on board with Kimi Raikkonen. He's right in the rear view mirror of Sebastian Vettel, who just look above him now, green 5 is in jeopardy, because here comes Kimi with the aggressive aggressive line on the inside, making their way down the stretch down the start-finish straight, leading down towards numero uno. He might get a double overtake here as they make their way down towards the first corner now. Down the inside of the Alpine there, indeed, Fernando Alonso. These two, oh God, certainly attacking each other around here in lap 4 of 72. Sebastian Vettel as well trying to attack back here, this time on Daniel Ricciardo. And those two as well, former Red Bull drivers together this time. And Argentina as they make their way around the early parts of the circuit here on lap 4. Absolutely stupendous driving around this Buenos Aires circuit here today as the Aston Martin, ever tenacious, Ricciardo though, the honey badger, still holding on indeed with such tenacity, such great determination, holds off the force of Sebastian Vettel. Here once again we have what looks to be the Alfa Romeo, this time number 7 of Kimi Raikkonen on Yuki Tsunoda, battles off the AlphaTauri, but it's not enough. Which is the more alpha car? It's Kimi's car. Lewis Hamilton in behind Pierre Gasly as he come up through, and Gasly taking a really wide line there and firmly opening the door for the UK driver Lewis Hamilton as they make their way through the next bit now, and the Mercedes has the upper hand at least for the moment through the next left-hander. In behind us where you got the McLaren of Lando Norris watching all this unfold right now, but Lewis, brilliant! Here we have Daniel Ricciardo now coming down the inside of Sebastian Vettel. And this time the Aston Martin isn't going to be enough as the McLaren makes his way on the inside. Ricciardo, very, very aggressive. He might actually have a go at the AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda as well. The Japanese driver won't like that. And Ricciardo has done it absolutely superbly. He's held off Seb, but this time he has got Yuki Tsunoda to be worried about now. The AlphaTauri, we know about his very aggressive nature. Will he be able to hold back the force of Daniel Ricciardo as the wonder from down under once again strikes on the outside there, this time the AlphaTauri, and he's done it. Here's Fernando Alonso here in this replay. We're just going to watch him, and a very, very nice move indeed. Textbook pretty much from the former champ, of course, down the inside of Yuki Tsunoda, and that will certainly allow him to move up yet another spot. Now Sebastian Vettel once again probing, and this time the prey on this occasion is Yuki Tsunoda, who was a little unsure on his exit there. Sebastian Vettel might have the upper hand. A mistake there from Tsunoda, and equally a mistake by Sebastian Vettel, but it's not going to stop him, and up into P12 he goes. Daniel Ricciardo, once again, a little mistake there from Kimi Raikkonen, but down the inside Daniel Ricciardo on Fernando Alonso, and once again these experienced drivers colliding on track, but Ricciardo with the upper hand. Brilliant move there from the McLaren. Superb from the Honey Badger yet again as he makes his way around the next left-hander indeed. And another mistake there, this time from Kimi Raikkonen. Ricciardo getting a 2 for the price of 1 here in lap 16. Lewis Hamilton now all over the rear end of Charles Leclerc as they come around the next right-hander, and certainly he's doing extremely well currently on those hard tyres. Charles Leclerc, the Monegasque driver, now under some convincing pressure despite himself and Carlos Sainz almost rebirthing the Ferrari team this season. It's a far contrast to certainly where they went last season, and Hamilton down the inside now for Mercedes, and superbly done as well. He took the aggressive line and it worked out tremendously there for the British driver as he makes his way around the next left-hander, and the Black Arrow now will try and probe up now on his teammate. They're both looking to try and fight back against the Red Bull team. Perez and Verstappen currently owning up the top spots.
So you need to let Lewis buy into turn 13 this lap. I was going to go past the next lap.
Valtteri, it's James. I had to do this to make sure we secure this. I understand.
Fuck you.
Well, I have to say, war of words there in the Mercedes camp, but Valtteri Bottas ordered to let Lewis through around turn 13 this lap, so we'll have to wait and see whether Valtteri is going to actually do that for his teammates or not, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, James from the Mercedes team getting involved on the radio as Lewis Hamilton goes off the track, and immediately Charles Leclerc looks to try and battle back against the British driver Lewis Hamilton down the inside, going in through the next left-hander, through the next semi-chicane, the S section. The Ferrari goes off as well, and Lewis holds on. Just going to have a look at the onboard replay of Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. He just gets it all wrong around this next right-hander, just not enough grip.
What the hell?
A complete lock-up there, heading off the circuit. I have to say, a less than impressed Charles Leclerc. The Monegasque driver is certainly not going to be pleased. And now Lewis making his way down the stretch, looking behind. I think that's the move that's going to be made now. Team orders here by Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton is being led through by Valtteri Bottas. And now the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, who's got to try and recover slightly after that very major error earlier on. but now he's got Bottas right ahead of him here, and you get the feeling that Bottas, maybe his spirit has been broken after that team order move, and Charles Leclerc is now up to P4, back where he started, the Ferrari driver, the prancing horse. And now, as we see, Lewis Hamilton, you got the team radio for Max Verstappen, struggling with the rears. The tyres are dead, he says, not good at all. And now that's going to allow Lewis Hamilton down the inside of Max Verstappen. Absolutely sensational. Verstappen with an error. Gasly now trying to at least try to overtake the back marker of Nikita Mazepin. Goes off the track though and loses traction. Oh my word! Into the back of Nikita Mazepin goes Pierre Gasly. And we'll have a look at the replay now. And you just see him go off the track. There are time penalty issued to the Frenchman Pierre Gasly. He just continues to push Nikita Mazepin off the circuit. But you have to wonder whether Nikita Mazepin might be at fault as well. And now, as we witness the battle for the lead progress now, and it looks like we've got a bit of a three-way situation involving a rear runner as well. Hamilton now moves ahead of Sergio Perez here in lap 62 of 72. What a stupendous move, taking advantage of that particular situation. Of course, Yuki Tsunoda holding them off, and still once again it proceeds to continue. Sergio Perez now back behind Lewis Hamilton now. The Mercedes holding on to top spot, but Hamilton running very wide though, and that's opened the door for Perez, the Mexican, down the inside, moves his way up into P1, and now holds on for Red Bull, and then makes his way through the latter part of this circuit now, here in lap 62 of 72 with 10 laps left. As we're now making our way around now with just over 9 laps remaining, it is now Sergio Perez. He runs wide this time, and that opens the door for Lewis Hamilton now, who slips in on the inside, looks to try and scope out Perez for a P1 spot. The Mercedes still hanging on. Everton Asti in from Lewis Hamilton. He is 8 times world champion for a very good reason, and Perez is struggling. He's losing power. He has lost power. He's lost speed. It's the RS. It's failed for him. And Hamilton is now up into P1 after starting P6 on the grid. Absolutely sensational. Perez has no answer. He is struggling with the car. No ERS. Hamilton on top spot. Now with 6 laps only left in this Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc trying to fight back on Max Verstappen. The history that these two have had. Max Verstappen a very slow exit out the corner. Charles Leclerc down the outside there for Ferrari. The Scuderia lighting things up here in Argentina. He's on the podium. P3, but he's got a has to try and negotiate his way around. And Charles Leclerc is absolutely flying right now, and he's right on the rear of Sergio Perez. Remember, he overtook earlier on Max Verstappen. He's going to have another go at the other Red Bull here now as well. Down the inside now, down the start-finish straight, heading into turn 1. Charles Leclerc moves up into P2. An excellent prancing maneuver by the prancing horse in the Ferrari. Absolutely exquisite from the Monegasque driver. He is now into second place. We have now only got 2 laps left, and it's starting to get really tight here. Max Verstappen now going down the outside of Sergio Perez here. Leclerc has already moved up to P2, but Max Verstappen with the faster Red Bull car heads into turn 1 and goes ahead there of his teammate Sergio Perez. But still Perez, the Mexican, looking to try and hold on. He can't do anything. Max Verstappen holds on. Well, he started 6th on the grid. He is your driver of the day, certainly. Lewis Hamilton, after not managing to clinch the win last time out at Circuit de la Sarthe, he is going to cross the line and take victory here in Argentina. For the first time we've raced here since 1998, Lewis Hamilton is your winner. But we've got a battle further down the field. It looks like we've got Lando Norris right behind Pierre Gasly. Gasly with an error on the final corner. Lando Norris down the inside there. There you can see Valtteri Bottas stuck in behind Sergio Perez. Lando Norris going for P5, but he can't do it, but gets the fastest lap.
Wow. Just wow, mate. What a drive. What a strategy. Only you can make that happen, mate. Awesome work today.
Thank you so much, Bono. You guys, thank you so much for this weekend. I know the last one was a difficult one, but really appreciate you continuing to push. That was definitely a tall order. So, grateful we did it.
Lewis is his daughter, we nearly shit our pants. Enjoy. Congratulations.
And that confirms it. Lewis Hamilton takes victory here in the Argentine Grand Prix for Mercedes, with Charles Leclerc in P2 for Ferrari. Max Verstappen finishes off the podium ranks in P3. And And what that means for the Drivers' Championship is that Lewis Hamilton is currently your championship leader, 4 points ahead of Max Verstappen, who's in P2. Charles Leclerc with a gap then in third place on 28 points. We hope you all enjoyed that one, folks. Please hit a like and a subscribe as well to this video. I hope you all enjoyed this race here today for the rebirth of the Argentine Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton, with that result, takes into the top of the championship. But we'll see you next time for round 3 at the Hard Rock Miami Grand Prix of 2021. You take care of yourselves. Goodbye.